Hi guys, this is Robert from the InsideSalesGuy.com. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how much research you do on the prospects you want to reach out to before you actually start calling them primarily. So there are varying degrees of how it makes sense to do this. Obviously, if you as a business have a very high customer lifetime value, it can make more sense to spend energy researching these leads. Usually it would mean that it is fewer, much larger companies. So it can it could make sense from an economical standpoint to spend a little bit more research. But in general, be very aware of the time spent on researching leads. All you really need to know to call a prospect are basically 4 pieces of information. You need to know the name of the person you're calling, the title or function, right? So you don't want to call somebody in production if you're trying to get a hold of somebody in marketing. You need to know the company that they work for, obviously, and on an overall level what that company do. And then you need to know why it makes sense for this person to talk to you. Why it makes sense should be derived from the problem you're solving, that this company is a part of your target market, and usually that you have generated a lot of value for customers similar to this company, right? So these are the 4 pieces of information you need, and you don't need anything else, right? You don't need to know their hobby, you don't need to know where they've been before, the college they've been to, and all of that stuff. Can it be good to know? Yes, in many cases. But in my opinion, you will waste a lot more time figuring out all of that stuff compared to how much value that would actually add into the conversation. So be aware, be very aware, both on an individual basis for you as a sales guy or for you as a salesperson, but also as a company, how much time you're spending on this stuff. I think that researching leads is probably the mother of procrastination when it comes to sales. I think it has very little value in most cases. There are cases out there where it probably makes sense if you have a large customer lifetime value as a company. But other than that, it has very limited value add to the conversations that you're going to do. If you're a company, be very aware of the salespeople who do this a lot. I'm sure it's the salespeople who are used to sorting their leads before calling them and basically using it as an excuse to not create the activity needed to go out there. You want salespeople who are super active, who have high numbers, because sales isn't part of numbers game. And if you have high numbers and you tweak the quality of what is being said and done, the impact is just so much bigger than if you have a small number volume, right? So overall, spend as little time as possible doing the research. In my mind, focus on getting those 4 parameters. And as soon as you get them, call them up. Spend those 10, 30 seconds, 60, 120 seconds figuring out whether or not you can actually add value to their business. And then basically book the meeting from there. If you're one of those people who have spent a lot of time doing research and are very successful doing a lot of research on leads or prospects out there and has managed to really increase your conversion rate, let me know. I'd love to hear about that. I've never heard about anybody who managed to do that. So I strongly advise that you focus a lot more on the activity side than on the research side when it comes to calling leads. Shoot me a comment if you have any. Otherwise, take care out there. See you. Bye.